Welcome to the Second Win Boxing Media. I'm your host, Rashid Hammond, and alongside
It's your boy, fantastic.
well, today we have a special guest in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Before I moved to Newport News, Virginia, I already knew this brother, man, before I even got down there. By the time I got down there, it was only a few boxers in the town, man, and me, my brother, and him was the few boxers at that time. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no other than the own Cornflake, aka his real name is Kenyon Johnson, aka the Bad News VA know him as Cornflake. How's it going,
Yes.
champ?
I'm at peace, bro. What's good? Thank you for inviting me on this show.
Man, I
It's
had
a
to get you.
beautiful level. You know what I'm saying? I've been sitting back watching. I've been knowing you ever since we was little boys. And like you say, I heard about you long before you heard about me. You
Yes,
know?
indeed, man.
Yeah,
Brother,
your cousin Mo was like, yo, man, yeah, I got a cousin that box too. You ever
right.
read across her? He said, nah. So one time I think we was in Alexandria at some little bar or whatever thing, and you came up in there, I was watching. And you beat the hell out of this boy. I was like, oh, that's him. I
Yes,
gotta go back
indeed.
there and talk to
Yes,
him.
indeed, man. I
And that's
remember,
where I
brother.
introduced myself to you. You know what I'm saying? To Alexandra. I'm like, yeah, your cousin Mo told me about
Yes, indeed, brother. Man, man, when we first got to Newport News, man, you definitely made sure we were straight, and you let them jokers know, man, in advance before we got to the town, man. And
you. Yeah,
I appreciate you, man. But man, I like what you're doing now, brother. Man, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, you're world champion. You doing things that man, that's very. I had to bring you on here, man.
thanks, bro. Thanks,
Yes,
thanks for
indeed, man.
recognizing me too, yo. Because yo, I don't know how I weigh up or compare to some of these guys you done had up here. The guys you done had up here is legendary, legendary. So I was like, when I got the call, I was like, it was like BET Awards type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed, man. So, man, when did you start boxing, man?
I think I was 12 years old, man. We was living on Fort Eustis Army base, man, and I
Okay.
went to the gym one time, and I seen this one the first time I ran to Abdullah Muhammad and Kenyatta
Okay.
Walker,
Yes, indeed.
and they was up in there. Rest in peace to both of them. Kenyatta Walker and especially Abdullah and Moten. That's
Yes,
legendary
indeed.
for down here.
Legendary. Put down there. Yes,
So
indeed.
yeah, so I started training with them. But then I didn't know. I hear this. I live on the base, but I didn't know it was a boxing team, Fort Eustis Army team. You know what I'm saying? So one day after I had a little date at the movies, which was across the street from the boxing gym. I went in there, and that's when I came across Lloyd Jones, the great. I gotta call him the great, and that's when I
Yeah.
came and seen Life, Ron Simmons,
Oh,
Russell.
yeah. Okay.
All of them was up in there
Yes,
already. You know what
indeed.
I'm
I know
saying?
all of them by name, man. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
they from up there. Where you
They
from?
from here. They from here. Yes, indeed. Ronald is every nationals I went to. Ronald definitely welcomed us with open arms, man. But he from here, man. Southeast, man. Yes, indeed.
Ronald Beast.
He a beast. He fought everybody. He has over. You talking like I always explain to people. Ronald is like the professor of boxing. His IQ
Yes,
in this
sir.
sport is just like no other, man.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to
Yes,
Ronald Sims. Everybody that's been on nationals know who Ronald Sims is. Man, he
yes,
fought multi. He been fighting when it going to international on the elite level since '88. So
yes,
you know,
sir.
yeah, man. So you
You
went
know
to
it.
Fort Eustis.
Yes, sir. And then when I got there, at this time I was the only JO there. I was 12 years old. Everybody else was either they had Life. He was professional fighter. Shout out to Ad Foster.
Okay.
Uh, he was a professional fighter at the time. And everybody else was like they was in the army. They were grown men. I was the only JO there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know what they consider what a JO it is in the amateur world today, but I was like 15 and under.
yeah.
I
That's
think
it.
when you turn 16, that's when you turn what, novice or something like that. That time
Yeah,
back then,
novice or open. It would depend on your experience. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So
changed up quite a lot, though. Like you said, though,
yeah,
brother. Yeah, it's changed
yeah.
up most
To
definitely.
me, yeah. But see, when I got there, it was like it was a big brotherhood type team, man. Them dudes, they didn't cut me no slack. They didn't want to hear nothing. If I cried, they didn't give a care. Especially Russell, man. Ron Sims, he really ain't say much. He'll beat you up, but he ain't really. He'll teach you as he was going and stuff. But
Yeah.
Lloyd Jones and
Russell.
Russell, they ain't give a damn about how you felt or how
That's
old
real
you
tough.
was. You
That's
was in here
real
with
tough.
us.
Yeah, Russell
Yeah.
just passed away. This about what?
Yes.
He just passed away about what, May, or it was last time around this time last year.
Something
I
like
think.
that. Something like that. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
rest in power to Russell, man. He was also an Air Force legend, man. Him and Ronald.
Yeah.
And they also was Leonard Elderby,
Yeah.
the Mayweather's CEO.
Mm-hmm.
They fought with him. Both of them. They got
Oh,
pictures with
yeah?
him. Yeah, they got pictures with him. Yes, indeed, man. They all was on the
Wow.
same team back in the days. Yep.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah, man. They fought with him, and he remember he always, recognizes them all the time, man.
You have to, man. Them dudes, man. Them was the guys I remember in Sega. They had a boxing game back in the day. Either I would put one of their names as their fighter. It would be Life or Ron or Russell.
Yes,
That would be
indeed.
the name of their fighter. Those were my idols. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed, brother. Yes,
Yo,
indeed.
that we had a gym down here in Williamsburg called Jabbo Kenner.
I know Jabbo. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I fought down in Williamsburg.
Who you
'Cause
fought?
it-
Jake,
Nah,
Mitch.
I didn't fight no guys from Newport News or down in that area. I
Yeah.
fought somebody from Philly. It
Okay,
was
okay.
it was like a little show, but everybody came down from Philly. You had the
Uh-huh.
Rock Island, Tiger Island, and all them came down.
Ooh, I
And
remember
all
that.
yes, indeed. So it was just all us came down there and got that work. But Jabbo, I remember Jabbo. It's in the paper if you get a chance. Check in the archives for what was that? Was the Daily Press down there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So in the
yeah.
Daily Press, it has an article with me in there when I came down there. I had no intentions of moving down there back then at all, but
Yeah,
it was in the papers down there. So yeah,
yeah,
Jabbo and them, they had a squad too, man.
yeah. So, but Ron would beat up all these big guys
Okay. Okay.
from their gym, and
Yeah,
I
Ron.
would sit back and I was like, wow, because Jabbo had a team. I wasn't with Jabbo. I joined Jabbo after I left Fort Houston,
Okay.
but I sat back and I watched how Ron was. Man, he was like his hands were like scalpels, man.
Yeah,
His
he a beast.
footwork, he was so sharp, man, and he fought everybody that was of age or not even age. It was size or whatever. And the
Yeah,
way he worked them, man, I fell in love with that man. That man was my idol. You hear me?
yeah. He still, he also trains or helps. He's also around Shakur Stevenson as well. He's
Oh
a
yeah.
big
Wow.
mentor for Shakur Stevenson too, man. So yeah, he the truth,
Wow.
man. Ronald is one of my guys, like you say, that you got to give respect to because he's like a scientist. If boxing was a school, he'll be a professor.
Exactly. Exactly. And I seen he was up here when y'all was talking to Ricardo. That's who it was,
Yeah.
Ricardo.
Ricardo
And I
Williams, he was on
and
there.
I
Yep.
seen his name pop up, and I was like, "Is that
Yeah, it
Ron
was
from
him.
Fort Houston?"
Yeah.
And then I inboxed him, and me and him starts changing messages back and forth. I ain't telling what I just said up here now, but I ain't want to stroke his ego at that
It's
time.
all
It was a
good.
little too late.
It's all good, brother, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Ron is the man with the plan, though, brother, man.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
indeed, man. So you went to Fort Eustis.
Yes.
You also trained with Jabbo.
Yes,
And
sir.
what was that like, man? What was that like with both gyms, man? How was that experience for you?
Well, Wayne Johnson and Dan Campbell was the coaches of matter of
Oh
fact,
man,
Dan Campbell.
you just named another legend, Dan Campbell, man. Dan
Yeah.
Campbell is on the DMV boxing legend page as well. Dan
Yeah.
Campbell was the 2012 head
Olympic.
Olympian coach.
Yes.
You
Yes.
see
Yes.
these names, he's naming some top dogs, man.
Yeah, so them two was the coach, right? So
Okay.
I wound up sparring against Jacob Mitchell, and
Okay.
I'm getting into this gym, and I'm like, okay, when I go spar him, I'm cut up, You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at him, but I underestimate him. So I took
Okay.
off my shirt, got in the ring with him. So Coach Lloyd was like, "Yo, you sure you want to fight without no shirt on? This boy a little sharp." I'm like,
Right.
"Nah, I got him. I got him." Man, I get in there, man. I think I'm intimidated because I'm cut up and big. You know, I'm 15, 14. I'm cut.
Yeah.
Man, that boy, man, he told me up, dropped me to my knees,
Yeah.
dropped me to my knees. And then while I was on my knees trying to catch my breath because he knocked the wind out of me, Coach Lloyd was like, "Nah, finish him. Keep going."
Okay.
That's what he was telling Jake to get me. Well,
Right.
because
Right.
I ain't listening to
Oh.
him. And
Okay.
I was like, but that's how tough our gyms were.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
go in here playing.
Playing. You couldn't play it.
Couldn't play it, or you gonna get
Yeah.
whipped.
That's real talk, man.
So yeah, I left them and I wound up joining Jabo Kenner because like I said, I was the only JO there, and the rest of those fighters that Jabo Kenner were around my age. So it was easy for me to train and spar around with those guys, and instead of being around adults all the time, and these guys are way advanced to me at Fort Eustis, so it was easy for me to train with these guys there. So I went to Jabo Kenner and left Fort Eustis Army team.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so go ahead.
how was that, man? Like that transition, like you said, you transitioned to Jabo because you was the youngest.
Hmm.
What was after that? What went on after you left? You know, what I'm saying Jabo's gym. What you do then?
Oh, I fell into the streets.
Okay,
I
that's
look at this the real of it. I was still boxing, but I was still in the streets.
okay.
And when y'all moved down here, y'all already had heard about me. I was known for fighting and all this
Yeah,
other stuff.
most definitely, most
So
definitely.
at a young age, I was still trying to find myself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I want to be known as this guy hard in the streets, and I want to be known for the guy that's good at boxing as well. So
Yeah,
being weak and young at that time, immature,
yeah.
it was hard for me to balance it. But I was still training with Jabo. Matter of fact, Jabo Kennan broke up, and I was still training with Wayne Johnson out of Gloucester. You know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
I remember
And
that.
and then I end up turning pro, and
Okay,
I fought underneath George Foreman and Lou Savarese undercard in New Jersey City. It was at Hotels Valley Casino.
okay,
It was April 27th, 2000. I mean 1997.
okay.
Yeah, so I get there, and I'm seeing Roy Jones, Sweet Pea Whitaker. This was the first night Fernando Vargas came out for his pro
Okay,
debut.
that was
It was
pro debut.
Yeah, Jimmy Thunder was there.
Oh
It was a
man,
lot of
good.
people.
You named some
Yeah,
good. You named some top dogs, man.
yeah. So I get there, I'm feeling myself, but here it is. I didn't never really get a chance to see my opponent.
Okay,
I didn't see him till way in. So when he's standing off to the side, I'm thinking he the guy around my height. I'm like, I'm gonna tear him up.
right.
But when I seen the guy that was like 6'6" start taking off all his clothes to get on the scale,
Oh no.
I'm looking around at the people that brought me like, oh hell
Yeah,
no, this about to be a hell of a ride. So I get in
yeah.
there, you know what I'm saying, and I end up jamming. Which was I think it was my left hand, my thumb, and it was hard for me to throw my jab. That's my bread and butter.
Right.
And the physical training I had to train up for this fight, man, even though I didn't know who he was, it was decent. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't tired. It was just that, man, this guy he outskilled me. His reach was vicious, and it was hard for me to throw that punch, and I couldn't beat him. I couldn't
Wow.
beat him. Not on that night.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
that
yeah.
night.
That was an injury that you couldn't overcome. A thumb injury that's gonna
Yeah.
nag you the whole entire fight,
Yes.
especially with 8-ounce gloves on.
Yes. Yes. His
That's
name
gonna
was
be.
Glenn Robinson. I think it was from New York or something
I
like
know
that.
Glenn
Tall.
Roberts. Glenn Robinson. I think was the gentleman who really. I mean, who Beethoven Scott lost. So what year was this you fought him?
1997.
That might have been that Glenn Robinson. I'm gonna look that up and we'll come back and discuss that if that's that
Yeah.
guy. Yeah,
Tall, bald head
tall,
guy.
yeah, tall guy. Was he from New York?
Yeah. Hit hard as a mug.
That was the same guy then. Yeah. So you went pro,
Yeah.
and I remember your days of the streets, man. You know, one thing about it, because we was done with boxing then, but
Yeah.
we still lived a lifestyle somewhat of it. But
Yeah.
I had an incident with one of your homies,
Tommy Ray.
Tommy Ray. You remember that? Listen, I gotta share this story though, right? I'm at the basketball game. I'm fresh in DC, fresh in Newport News from DC, right? This joker kicked my leg. He kicking everybody's leg, didn't care who they was. Kicked my leg, and I say, Slim. And he got close on me. All I did was hit him with an 80 piece. He went down the bleachers. I dragged him in front of the whole basketball game.
Yo, when they told me, when I got the phone call, they was like, yo, somebody just beat your homeboy up. I'm like, yo, who? I'm ready to fight too. When he told me your name, I said, man, why y'all ain't tell that boy who he was fighting? I said, Joe, I had to tell my homeboy Larry B, rest in peace. I said, Joe, I can't even beat this man in the ring, and y'all try to take me over there to go fight this man. Hell no, y'all better go talk it out.
but to be honest with you, man, I'm glad you was there though, man, because I never was a street fighter type person because my father it was a guy that grew up was named Curtis who just passed away, got stabbed 2 years ago. And he was younger, he was older than us, and he got shot because he was going around using his boxing. This was in the 80s and 90s, early 80s, actually. And so he used to tell us that story. So that kept me from trying to use my boxing abilities in the streets because he would always refer that story to us. And for your situation, if it wasn't for you being there, who knows what the outcome could have been. You know what I'm saying? It could have been some gunplay or anything of that nature. So
true.
By you know what I'm saying, letting them jokers know, man, he's my home, this my boys, man. Don't let it go no further than that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a blessing too, because I didn't care where I was at, guns was everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Especially in Newport News, because everybody could buy a gun. So so he could have took his father's gun out the closet or anything. You never know, you know what I'm saying? So
that's right.
Yeah, but man, I remember thinking about you though out in the streets knocking. I was a couple of parties I've been to, and trust me, the jokers was getting dragged out of there. I'm talking about sleep dragged out of there. Cornflake was knocking them out, man.
Yeah.
And we from uptown, right? We from uptown Newport News.
Yeah.
But them jokers all over Newport News knew about Cornflake. Where we was uptown, downtown, midtown, you was going down. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Yeah. That joint was crazy. But I remember when y'all was here, I was trying to get y'all to join One Eye Gym so bad, man.
Yeah, we was thinking.
I remember when Dan Campbell found out that y'all ain't live too far from me. They was like, get him here.
Man, I regret it still to this day, man.
I was like, man, they doing things. They got a band going on.
Yeah,
they got two businesses going on. I remember you told me, you was like, man, you was gonna fall back from boxing for a while and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Your focus was on other things and stuff, especially your music.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I regret it still to this day, man. I knew we definitely would have made that 2000 Olympic team. And my brother probably went on the 04. I would have went on the 2000 team. One of my biggest regrets, only time I really regretted was on the phone with the Olympic team themselves. So that was a painful feeling, man. I was back in DC then, but that was a painful feeling, man.
What happened? Tell me about it. I ain't hear about that. What happened?
The guy Ricardo Wins was the silver medal, the one that was on last week.
Yeah.
And I had called up, I was back training in DC. I came back to DC, started training. Yeah. And when I started training, I was, somebody gave me the, Clarence number. So I called them. I talked to him, Jermaine Teller. It was Ricardo, Jermaine Teller, and it was a couple of other guys too, man, that used to fight with me back then. So it was a painful feeling to be able to talk to, somebody somebody that you've been. That's like I felt like I was in high school because it stayed back, man.
Ooh, true.
That's how I felt. So
true.
But
True.
and Dan could have got us to the next level. My father would have helped too. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
the reason for us not going with Dan was how far Norfolk was.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Norfolk was, it seemed close, but it was far to us back then on that bridge and that tunnel. I just got
Yeah.
my driver's license. My father was scared as hell to let us cross that bridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
But
was, I still wish we would have done it, man. That was a sacrifice I wish we would have made, man. Still to this
man,
day.
honestly, man, I thought it was a blessing when y'all moved around here. I said, man, it must be a sign. Because when y'all moved around here, I knew we was gonna turn up around here,
We should
especially with
have,
y'all
man.
two.
We should have,
Especially
bro.
with y'all
We
two,
should
man.
have, man.
I was bragging to everybody. I say, yo, them boys down here. They say, what
Yes,
you mean? I
indeed.
said, yo, they moved down here. They live in
Hey,
Denby.
but Abdul, right? He lived literally on the same street I lived on.
Exactly.
He lived on the
Yep.
same street I lived. He would come up there every day talking to my father, trying to get us to get in the gym, man. Like, come on now, we come down there, man. You come on down there, man. I'd let you do this, do that. Me, I was like, I ain't thinking about this mess. I ain't boxing no
Yeah.
more. I was like,
Yeah.
it was about surviving, man. It was about trying to
Yeah.
survive the hood. We was out the hood. I felt as though,
True. True.
but man. But back to you, brother.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
my brother C's want to ask you some questions about what's going on now. But one other thing we want to discuss,
Mm-hmm.
you was in the streets.
Yeah.
Explain what happened after that, man. What transpired from you being in the streets? What was the repercussions of that?
The repercussion of that was that here it is. Like I said, it went back to me playing with the streets and playing with the boxing life. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, being young, immature, want my name to be popping in the street, but also want to be known as a good boxer. I couldn't. So the streets wind up winning. So I ended up getting locked up, doing almost 17 years in prison, gun charges and stuff like that, man. And then when the judge stand up and throw the book at you, man, you ain't got nothing but time to think. And then everything in prison now is I coulda, I shoulda. You got all the war stories in your head. Then, even in prison, I was fighting, you know what I'm saying? And I would sit in the hole and I would think back on all the times what I could have be doing with my time now. You know what I'm saying? It was just like it was like eating me up, you know what I'm saying? So I would train in prison as well, and I would help train other people. There's a legendary dude who back in the days in prison they had called smokers, where guys would get in there and they had boxing. They would fight from prison to prison. His name was U Man. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So U Man is legendary. He's home now. He made parole and stuff. And I would talk to this guy, but I would hear his stories too, and I would listen to stories that everybody else would tell about him. And I was like, damn, I ended up somewhat similar to him.
Yeah.
He was a hell of a boxer. He used to fight for the Norfolk team, him and his brother Milton. And then
Okay.
he ended up in prison. And now he's basically got a story of boxing and living his life out of boxing in prison. And I ended up growing up the same way as he was. I ain't come home until I was 39. You know what I'm saying? I went in when I was 22, 23.
Ooh.
And my life kind of played out like his.
Yeah.
But mine didn't stop there, though. See, when I came home, I had a goal. I had a mission. You know what I'm saying? I knew I could never go back. And that's why I tell guys when I see him, when I was in prison, when I was like, man, ain't no such thing as going back. There's no going back. So I snuck my prison boots out of prison. I got released from Greensville Correctional Facility. That's in, I forgot what part of Virginia that is. But it was this white guy by the name of Mighty Mouse that was in prison with me as well. So when I got home, I seen him on YouTube fighting. So I contacted him, man. He was fighting on something called Street Beast.
Okay.
So at this time, I started training myself. I'm at Rough House Boxing Gym with Rob Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Training and training, not doing nothing serious, but see what a lot of people don't understand and know is that when the guys come home from prison after doing a lot of time, man, we suffer from depression.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck in my own little shell, and I'm more in this world still on defense because that's how you had to be in prison. You had to
Yeah.
always be on defense because you don't know what the next man is coming with. You know what I'm saying? Mentally or physically. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So hitting the bag and sparring was my way with Kenyatta and a guy by the brother by the name Goose was my outlet. So when I'm wound up talking to Mouse was like, "Yo, you think you ready to go up here and fight?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, everything gonna be put on YouTube." So I was like, "All right, I can do this." So I go up to Winchester, to Scarface House, who is the owner of Street Beef. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
And uh, Mighty Mouse introduced me to him, telling my experience that I just came home. I just started training again, and they matched me up with another guy who had just been training too, and whatever. So I wound up dropping the guy in the third round. Body shots, body
Okay.
shots, body shots. But yo, I was so tired.
I can
But
imagine, man.
I had these prison boots on too. But I'm fighting in this backyard with prison boots. So I can run in them, but it
I
was hard
got
for me to
you.
keep stepping and sliding in these prison boots.
Right.
So I ended up beating them, seeing myself, and then on YouTube constantly keep watching and watching. I'm like, dang, I can get better. So I started training even harder. You know what I'm saying? Start working out with more people. And then friends started to see me on TV training and fighting and stuff. So more of my friends started training and fighting as well. So I was able to bring more people into the game as well, this backyard fighting. And the difference between backyard fighting and amateur fighting is that backyard is like, got more life.
Yeah.
It's not rules. It's not a red corner. It's not a blue corner. It's life. You got music. You wear what you want to wear.
I got you.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? It's fun.
I
You know
got
what
you.
I'm saying? And that's what I love, man. And then the more I got into it, the cooler me and Scarface got, the cooler I got with other fighters and stuff. I ended up breaking off ties with Mighty Mouse because of the bull he was in. I didn't know the man was a child molester when I met him in prison.
Okay.
So when I met him in prison, he told me he was in there for prostitution ring, which I met a few guys that got locked up for being a pimp in a prostitution ring game.
Okay.
But when he came home, people started putting this stuff on YouTube and putting him on blast. And then when they put his charges up in his face, and you can read these charges, I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Is
damn.
that the guy with
I,
all the tattoos on his face?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. And he used to live down the street, not too far from Newport News Park.
Oh no.
And it was like, yo, I don't rock with y'all in prison, so I definitely ain't gonna rock with y'all in the free
Oh
world.
no way. No way.
You know what I'm saying? But yo,
I'm
it's
with you,
still
brother.
guys to this day. They'll keep him around for his little internet fame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll sell their soul out just to be around him and get some YouTube clout. That don't make you famous, but I cut him off. Start messing with Scarface a lot more. Start training, and I
Okay.
start promoting myself more and more and more. Then I end up fighting, man. A guy is named Gorilla for the heavyweight belt,
Okay.
and then I end up beating him. To this day, matter of fact, hold on, that thing's sitting right here.
Okay. There it is. There it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
that thing's
indeed.
sitting right here.
Yes, indeed.
This joint heavy. This ain't light. This thing
Nah, I'm
heavy.
looking at it, man. I
Yeah.
see that's all metal there, brother.
Yeah, this joint heavy.
Yes,
So,
indeed, man.
I carried that, but I didn't know how big the social media game was because I was in
Yeah.
prison.
Yeah.
When I came home, when I left, it was AOL on the streets and stuff
Right.
like that.
Exactly. You're right about that, though.
That thing be screaming when you turn.
20 minutes to
Yeah.
upload one picture.
So I didn't know how the social media was popping left, right, and this man, he was posting my pictures, my fights. They got a big fight group, man. They talking, and then I felt alive again. I ain't feel like a prisoner no more. I was coming out my shell more, even though I'm still battling to this day. I'm still battling with like, damn, I can't believe you did almost 17 years.
Yeah, man. That's a
It's
long
like-
time, brother.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
But the more I stay active, the more I don't have to think about it. The depression don't sit in. But then I started getting more people off the streets into the gym and start bringing them there. See, one thing about it, when you see yourself on TV, whether you took a beating or you won, once you see yourself on TV and you come from a background where you had nothing or nobody really knew you for something, but you got this video, you can show somebody that you got beat or you didn't beat somebody, it's going to push you to go more.
Facts.
It's going to push you to do more. Now you ain't in the clubs or the streets as much as no more. So I said, I can start tricking these guys.
Right.
I can start posting their pictures of themselves training in their videos, and they gonna love it.
Facts.
Now I'm building them up because in my era, a lot of guys was locked up. So the generation that came up behind us didn't have nobody to raise them but their moms.
Facts.
So I had to find a way to trick them. I tricked them by using themselves on social media to squash beefs, to get off the streets, and all that other stuff. So it was booming, man. I was bringing a bunch of fighters down to up north to Winchester, Virginia. That's where they held all the fights.
Okay.
And then the guy Scarface, he was like, "Yo, your neighborhood need this more than what you think.
Right.
Why don't you branch off? You're gonna be the first branch of Street Beast, and you name it whatever you want to name it, and start your own." And I was like, "Wow," you know what I'm saying? So I started. I first thing was Street Beef. It was Street Beef pound for pound, but our logo was different.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pit bull with gloves on and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it was doing good. Even to this day, it's still doing good. You know what I'm saying? The more we got into it, in the next year, I started buying belts.
Okay.
So now you got to work harder. We just not fighting no more every month in the backyard. Now I'm setting stages. How bad you want it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you really can't be partying. You really can't be chilling because now you got to meet weight and you got to be able to keep up with the guy that want that belt too.
Okay.
So I tried to emulate as other like amateur and stuff to a certain degree because my next level is to either not let you, but send you up to the amateur or you gonna go pro on your own.
Right.
I done had guys that then went pro. About 3 guys that went pro. One about to go now.
Okay.
And a few that went amateur.
That's what's up, man.
So I got to trick them.
I got you. I see what you.
I got to trick them. You know what I'm saying? But it's guys in the Tidewater area that own gyms that can't stand me.
I can believe it.
You know why? Because it's a money thing to them.
Right.
To me, it's not a money thing.
Right. Right.
It's an attention thing to them. But if you sit back and look at what I'm doing, the motto is guns down, gloves up.
I love the concept, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Man. Yes, indeed, man.
Put the guns down. Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk. Mm-hmm. That way, after you finish fighting somebody, when you tired, you don't want to fight no more. You want to be friends. Let's talk about this.
Real talk.
So this is how I trick them and bring them together to squash their beef. But those in the amateur world, those got them gyms, man, they don't understand what I got going on. They want me to be what they want to be. And I'm not no crony. I'm not being this. I'm my own man and I'm going to do what I want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And to the law say I can't do it.
That's right.
But what I can say, man, I give a lot of love and a lot of shout out to C4 Boxing Gym, man. Them guys, you know what I'm saying? They give me advice.
Rough House. What are they located at?
C4 Boxing Gym is located in Hampton, Virginia and Portsmouth, Virginia.
And
they got 2 gyms.
They got 2 gyms.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
They got 2 gyms.
I wish they was out back then, man. God damn.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to go across that bridge.
Yo, one of them by Buck Road, and I haven't been to the second one that just opened up. Yo, C4 Boxing Gym here is vicious.
Okay.
Yo, they got David Ovis in Portsmouth, and they got Gene Floyd in Hampton. I'm talking about this team is vicious out here.
Okay.
So with them, with Coach Rob Jackson at Rough House Boxing, these dudes, yo, it's like, yo, Aleem daddy, what's his name? Aleem, what's his name? Aleem, isn't he from Richmond or Petersburg?
Aleem, I don't know him.
No, Aleem.
Aleem.
I forgot his name. It's a junior and a senior. One of them is a professional fighter, but he embraced me.
Okay. You talking about Halim? Halim?
Yeah. Aleem, Aleem, something. I forgot their name.
Okay.
But I ran across Reggie Barnett a few times. We talked. He ain't had no problem. His daddy, we spoke a few times. But my thing is, I can't move like how you want me to move when I already know what my people's need out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Different rules. It's different. It's a different ball game. He can't expect you to bring the amateur way or the professional way. If you got your mindset, your game plan, from what I'm hearing you say, you're more concerned about just trying to get the youngest to embrace something.
Exactly.
And then you can move them on. First, we got to get them to embrace being able to taking ass whooping. First and foremost, you got to be able to take an ass whooping without picking up a gun. Because man, literally, man, I seen a dude get hit. First thing he did, run to his car, go to get his gun.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. That's what they train to do, man.
Yeah, and that's my mindset right there, man. And so at 44 years old, I wanted to stop, but I said I got to be an example. I got to still be in there with them.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? When we go to fights, I gotta lead by example. I gotta be in there with them fighting during these shows.
Right.
Even though I can still go. I ain't as fast as I used to be, but I still throw I still throw some mean stuff.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Crazy, bro. We really be watching your joints though. Me, my brother. Yeah. We watched them joints and when you was on the street beefs, even when you start doing your own thing, we be checking them out, man.
Yeah, thanks.
That's why I had to bring you on, because I was happy to see what you was doing. I understood what you was doing, man. You also was scratching your own itch too. Which is natural, because we tend to be like, I wonder if we still can do this. And
true.
You know what I'm saying? So we around the same age. I'm 43, so we're around the same age. So we still want to know we can handle it, because I know you fighting some 25-year-olds, some 30-year-olds. It don't even matter. So.
Yo, the boys so damn fast these days. Yo, it's like I was like, that you said exactly. I want to see if I can do it. So I get in there with anybody, man. I don't care who you are. I get in, because a lot of people, from what I remember, man, and from what I see, a lot of people don't know how to breathe when they punch.
They don't.
And I be watching a lot. I go to a few amateur fights out here, and I'm like, dang, he's not even breathing. Yeah. So if he lose, I go to him like, bro, you won't breathe, and worry. He's like, no.
Yeah. Just throwing punches and wasn't thinking, and a lot of them not good thinkers, man. They're not good at thinking. They just more on instincts. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is not an instinct sport. It's more. It's both. You gotta have a balance of thoughts.
Yeah.
You have to a game plan. That's the biggest thing that's missing.
True.
Is the game plan. I had a conversation with one of my former teammates who was like, man, the reason why I lost to the national because your father didn't go. I was like, what you mean? You know what? He didn't need to go. I didn't need him. Shit. He said, I did. He said, I did because your father always had a game plan for each opponent that I fought.
True.
I was like, damn, that makes sense, because he was one of those type of trainers who
Some
came
people
with
need that in their ear. Yeah, they need somebody in their ear. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, man. Exactly. But C's got some questions for you too, brother, man.
Okay.
C's ask you a few questions.
Yeah, I want to get into that Street Beefs affiliation. You still affiliated with them?
Nah, I got my own thing, pound for pound. I'm still cool with them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I can get on the phone. I can call Scarface anytime I want to and talk to him. And when you have a bad breakup and a split, there's beef and there's words. You know what I'm saying? But then after time goes on, you sit and you talk and you realize, man, we beefing over nothing, man. You aiming for the same goal I'm aiming for. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we cool. I've been thinking about now how I can bring some of my guys up there, and I want to turn into a circuit, because you got Thump the Yard, you got Dallas Squad, you got Rumble in the Bronx, you got House of Warriors in Richmond, man, you got Carolina Fight Club. If I can turn this thing into a circuit, that's what I'm trying to do. So dudes get trapped. Yeah. So I spoke to Riddick Bowe. He called me one night. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, Cornflake, I want that belt. I was like, who the hell is this?
That's my man, bro. Yes, it is.
Yo, I said, who is this? I said, you can get it. You can get it. He said, you know who you talking to? I was like, nah, but you can get it. You calling my phone. And then when he told me his name, I was like, you lying. Then when I found out and really listened to him, you know what I did? I quickly pushed him off. I said, I'm not a super heavyweight fighter, but there are super heavyweight fighters with belts. I said, I'm just a heavyweight. They got super heavyweight fighters that you can fight. I started naming their name.
Yes,
you don't want me.
Big dude, man.
Yeah.
I would have did the same thing. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes, indeed.
But I noticed they had that the Street Beef had that BLK Prime deal. Did you ever get put on
Yeah,
it to, or
they
put?
wanted me. They wanted me to go do the BLK Prime thing, but I said no because when you do
Okay.
BLK Prime, you got to actually do blood work and all that stuff. So you basically sign a contract. So you basically turning pro.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So, but
Mm-hmm.
my mission here in the backyard wasn't done yet. So I wasn't ready to turn pro yet. I'm still in the trenches with a bunch of youth in my neighborhood, man. They're still killing each other over stupid, senseless stuff. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be able to fight with these guys. You know what I'm saying? If I turned pro, I would have to be time to fight. I had to be somewhere else. I couldn't be there in a mix with them at war, shoulder to shoulder, brother to brother. And I was like, nah, that ain't for me. Now I thought about it, flying out to California and all that other stuff, but I'm like, nah, it ain't worth it. My mission was bigger than wanting to
Yeah.
be seen on pay per view.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
ain't
Because
never
I
get, you
remember.
ain't meet them people.
huh?
So you ain't go out there and even just meet them people and nothing like that.
Nah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Scarface was a partner with King Erna and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, he was 50-50 partners with them. So all the fighters that was on BLK Prime were street beef fighters.
Okay.
And you had a few Philly fighters and some other fighters that was up there, but majority of the fights were street beef. So at any time, if I really wanted to go up there, I could have went up there. But like I said, I got a game plan, I got a goal, and this is the thing that the youth get caught up on. I want to be seen.
Right.
It's
Mm-hmm.
good to be seen. So when you just imagine you somebody in the streets, really not too much going on, and somebody tell you I'm gonna put you on pay per view, you ain't gonna think. You want to be seen. You want to go get this free trip. You want to get this money, and you gonna be on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I've always had a name. You know what I'm saying? Not to toot my own. I always had a name. I always been
Right.
popular. So if I could see myself on YouTube, I could. That wasn't it. Like I said, my mission and goal and my game plan is bigger than just being seen one time on
Right.
some pay per view.
Mm-hmm.
For money, I'm not gonna be getting off of pay per view.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Right. I feel you, bro. I feel
Now,
you, man.
with the rise of influencer boxing and things like that going on right now, do you see the backyard style having that exponential growth as influencer boxing and things?
Yeah, because when you really look at it, they love Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Facts.
They love that. And Kimbo, I say Ken Kimbo is like the godfather of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was just that we in Virginia, you got a mutual combat law. I can go anywhere and fight in a backyard, in a parking lot, but the owners of the building or the place had to give me the green light to be able to fight there. See, a lot of people think backyard fighting is illegal. It's not. In
Okay.
South Carolina, it's illegal. There's a few states it's illegal, but in Virginia, it's
It's
legal.
not good. Good.
Yeah. So you can go fight anywhere you want to, but it's booming, man. It's booming in a way where you gotta have see a lot of people don't have goals set for themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes they need you to grab them by the hand and say, follow me. Let me show you
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
Let me show you something. I seen you hitting that bag. Let me show you something else. And they
Mhm.
feeling it. They love it.
Yeah.
They call me OG, they call me Unc, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't feel old. I might got the sunroof down and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't feel old, you know what I'm
That's right.
saying?
That's right.
But yo,
Yeah.
I love the fact that here it is. These young dudes, they come to me and two of my fighters are locked up. I still
Okay.
talk to them. I still see them commissary. Some of my fighters, they need money. I hit them off sometimes because I see I never had a father in my life. Not trying to be their father, but I'm trying to be their big brother type thing. And sometimes you need that help.
Yes, indeed. They
Mhm.
need it.
And being though I've been in prison for a long time, and I know a lot of people turn their back on me. I don't want to turn my back on people that's in need because that's my
Yeah.
whole goal. That's my mission.
Mhm.
So now, if I already got fighters who are working to go amateur, who already then jumped out, they didn't even go to amateur. They just jumped in the ring and went pro. They might not
Mhm.
have been so successful, but they went
Yeah.
out there and jumped out there.
Yeah.
That's
You
that's all
know,
that matters, though. They done it,
Right.
man.
yeah,
That's
they
the
did
that's
it.
the, that's the main thing.
And see where
Yeah.
we at now. We at Rough House Boxing Gym, where you have the amateur system already set up there, but some of us already training there. So when you feel like you done with this, with me, you're already there in the house with this amateur program going on. So you already there. You've been what I'm basically doing, I'm taking them and shaping and molding them
I got you.
to go to the next level. That's what it is. So it's progress. It's progress.
It's a good concept too, because we all know, man, that you was a real boxer, so you know
Yeah.
that in order for you to get better, it requires experience. I tell people all the time, the only way you're gonna get better in boxing is boxing.
True.
You have to box. You can hit the
True.
bag a million rounds a day. But the
True.
only way you're gonna be able to get better is to box. That's it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you got the beginning stages of it, especially that's competition. So they're competing and they're getting that experience to know how to react to punches, to defend themselves, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like the concept because the youngest need some type form of structure, man.
Guys, yeah.
Especially in structure. And as
I like that.
black men, we
Yeah.
all should know how to have some form of martial arts or self-defense. That's something that we all should learn. That way, some of that estrogen, because it ain't testosterone that's happening,
Yeah.
will
True.
be diminished
True.
to the point where we'll be able to deal with each other on our conflicts with words and if necessary. But most of us that know how to fight don't want to fight. That's just a rule.
Yeah.
Am I lying?
Yeah.
Most of us that know how to fight don't want to fight.
That's right.
So
That's right.
if we all know how to fight, it'll be less peaceful. It'll be more peaceful.
Exactly. And I've taken anger management twice.
Okay.
And the biggest thing in anger management is breathing. Now,
Right.
what's huge in boxing?
Right. That's
Breathing.
right. That's facts, man.
So, when you put the two together, and then after I tell you about the anger management program on how they steps are, and what they tell you to do is breathe, and I'll be like, well, what I tell you when you be in the ring fighting? Don't you hear me screaming, breathe?
Exactly.
Because you can't think when things ain't right up there. When you fighting for air and stuff,
right.
you can't be a thinking man because your heart rate pumping.
Exactly.
You worried about other things going on in your body instead of the natural thing that you came in this world fighting to do is breathe.
Breathing. Yep.
And that make you think, that keep you calm.
Yep.
And your eye coordination is a lot better when you breathe.
Yep.
And so, even when you're in the streets, if you've been through training similar to anger management or boxing, you know how to control yourself. Like when I started boxing and I get in street fights, I was never mad. I stepped to that situation calm.
Yep.
I look at how they stand. I say, I'm about to eat them up. And they be throwing all that crazy stuff.
Yep.
Bop, 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 and go.
Done deal.
Yeah. Even when I was fighting in the streets and they would grab me, I wouldn't resist. I'll go for the ride, but I hold on with them. But you're going to get tired. But I'm breathing. You didn't slam me a few times. But as soon as I get up on my feet, I'm about to eat you up. And pop.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Indeed.
You can tell a story about what you slammed me, but you tell a story about how you woke up. How you woke up and I was gone.
Exactly. That's facts, man. That's facts.
Yeah. So that's what now. If you look at it, this some real stuff. In our days, a lot of guys had guns. A lot of days, guys get a gun away and fight. You know what I'm saying? But these days, guys, they're so emotional. Think about that word, emotional. Man.
That's it.
Because they so used to being stuck underneath their mom all day. What you see dudes do? They smacking their lips.
Yep.
And all that stuff. They rolling their eyes.
Yep.
Yo, this is a real stuff. I don't know if I can cuss up here.
Man, go let it out, man.
Man, I came home from prison. These dudes were calling each other bitch like it was cool.
Oh man.
Oh no.
I was like, yeah, what's going? That's what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. So many, and this is what I see is that you're stuck underneath your mother. So you start picking up your mother's traits.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts, man.
You underneath your mother so much, you listen to her conversation with her friends.
That,
so now you're a king gossiper now, just like your mama is a queen gossiper.
That's my motto. I tell people all the time. Most of these dudes are so soft because they hear their mother gossiping about what somebody else got. They get jealous. They jealous of what Johnny got, so they want to
Yeah,
kill Johnny because Johnny got it. Because their mother been talking about what Murray down the street had and
yeah,
upset about it.
yeah. And see, my days, my mom like, you ain't hanging into her. You ain't hanging into her friends. You better get your ass
Exactly. That's
outside.
outside. Yeah.
Yo,
Mm-hmm.
you
Outside,
ask a
yeah.
kid, have you ever drunk out of a water hose? They'll look at you like you stupid,
They don't know
like
what it is, brother.
you about to poison them.
That's real
I grew up
talk.
off the
Wow.
water hose.
Me
I grew
too.
up off the water hose because I was scared to go inside the house. If I went inside the house,
Mm.
there was a chance I might not come back outside.
Hey, when you
Mm-hmm.
thirsty, that's the best damn water
Man,
you ever
what?
had in your
Yeah,
life.
What
yeah.
rose water was lit?
Well, except if you drink out the new water hose, that jam's a
Oh
little
no, I don't
tangy.
mess with it now. No, I don't drink it
Yeah, I ain't did
The new water hose
it.
tangy.
Yeah, because I think it's the rubber. How much rubber? On it or
Yeah,
something.
the rubber inside the new water hose kind of tangy. That jam make
That's real tough.
Yeah,
Man.
so yo, that's my game plan, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I went to prison and I came home. When I was in prison, I got my electrical trade.
Okay,
Now I'm
good.
in, yeah, so I'm in the IBEW now, man. A lot of
Okay,
people think, yo, just because you a felon, you can't do. Man, I work at Facebook, man. I work for NASA, man. I
that's
work for
what's up, brother.
Jefferson Lab. Yo, I want guys, anybody to know that hear this, man. If you're a convicted felon, man, don't believe nothing that people say, man. That what you can and can't do. There's some things you can't do,
Right.
but there's a lot that you can do. And if you need help, this is my word. I got people that can show you. I just won an award in Roanoke, a room full of white people. You feel what I'm saying? And they gave me this award for being is being active in your community and being a productive citizen after coming home from prison, man. Matter of fact, yo, the thing is right here. I got it right here, still in the case. I ain't even took it out the case yet, bro. You
That's
feel what I'm
what's up,
saying?
brother. That's what's up,
Yo,
man.
these people you think people ain't looking at you, bro? They watching you. Even if your own people knock you down, important people watching you. This thing's
That's
glass.
right,
This
brother. That's
heavy.
right, brother.
They
That's what's
watching you.
up.
Yo, and the motto is ain't no going back, bro. You've
That's
been
right,
at your
man.
lowest. Never allow them to sit you down. Because if you read about the 13th Amendment, man, you consider a slave when you go to prison and all that stuff. Never let them put you in as a slave again, man. For real. And
Yeah,
that's my goal. That's my goal. And that's what I'm doing, man. For real. But like I
man,
said,
that's what's up.
I'm
No,
the
that's very
oldest
noble
one.
there, man. That's very
I'm
noble.
I'm the oldest one in my school. This is my last year as apprentice. I
Okay.
graduated in 6 months. I got my
Okay.
journeyman card. I'm coming up there to work. That money up
This
there
the
good.
money's good, man. My cousin just was bragging. He an electrician. He make 50 an hour. He just posted that today. Because he was trying to explain to the youngest that you don't gotta go to college to make some money. He said,
Yeah.
I make 50 an hour. I say, damn.
And not to mention per diem, because I'm coming from out of state.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Real talk.
Yes. So yo, I feel like this is a real. I feel like I'm the gatekeeper to a lot of things for guys, man. And not only the gatekeeper, I'm an example. I'm gonna walk an example of what was and what is now. You know what I'm saying? And at
Mhm.
44, if you got any problem and you feel like, yo, you want to talk to me and know, let's go in here, let's handle this stuff.
That's
And I
right.
bet you I can show you another way, but I'm not gonna beat you to be beating you out of anger. I'm gonna beat you and talk to you while
That's
I'm
right.
beating you.
That's right.
You might get me with your speed at first, but you don't know how to breathe yet because ain't nobody taught you how to breathe because you're too
Exactly.
emotional. And when you're emotional, you're not a breather, you're not a thinker.
Exactly.
And I'm out thinking you and I'm gonna walk you. What's that thing? The turtle in the hair? I'm gonna slow walk you.
That's right.
I'm gonna slow cook you.
That's right. That's how you got to do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, man, I feel like, man, my generation failed the youth around here, man. But my homeboy, big brother Paul Taylor, he received an award at the Black Gala. I do security for certain celebrities and
Okay.
certain big events now. Celebrities don't want just regular guys, they want convicted felons to be.
Yeah, because they know.
Yeah. So I'm in the back kicking it with, listen, man, I'm in a convicted felon that did. I'm in the back kicking it with Carl Thomas, chilling. Listen to him
Okay.
talk. I'm feet away from him.
That's
I've
what's
been
up,
kicking it
man.
with Bow Wow State. It's a list of people I can kick. I can think. But this is what I'm trying to say. If you want it, you can go get it.
That's
You
right.
know. Look, man. I still got sores on my knuckles,
Oh
bro.
yeah. Them calluses there forever,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I ain't even got a knuckle no more. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yes, indeed, man.
If you want it, it ain't about your age, man. It's just like, go get it. Here it is. I'm just a little guy fighting in prison boots in a backyard. You know what I'm saying? And y'all called me to be up here, man. That shit,
Listen, man.
that shit touched me, bruh.
Hey, bro, you more than worthy of this, man.
Thank you.
I
Cause
know you. I know your history. I know where you came from. I see where you at, and
thank
there's
you,
no
cause
way in the world that I couldn't get you on this platform, man. Man,
yeah,
you're no different than me talking to the silver medalists last week.
yeah.
No different than talking to the world champions, bro. You are of that. You are the world champion in what you do.
Yeah, cause I see the list of names y'all be having up here, man. I'm like, wow, yo. They got legendary Hall of Fame fighters up here.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, my brother came to me, asked me to be up here. Yo, it was like, man, I'm talking about I was walking around here like Christmas morning. I can't wait to open up this package. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
indeed, brother. Yes, indeed, man. I already
Yeah.
know. And then one thing for certain, man. I watch your platform as well, man. You have a vicious following too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these people, like when you literally took that picture and then I sent it to you and put it on your page, about 200 to 300 people shared. I mean, just all commented on it. I was
Yeah.
like, that's what's up, man. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And a
And
lot of
when
them
it
probably don't know how to get on here to the live, but they're gonna watch it all. You know what I'm saying? Once you share it,
yeah,
and
I've been
and
sharing
and,
it. I'm gonna start sharing it even more.
and, and then the story. It's your story, man. It's your redemption story. That I know when you're not the same Cornflake that I knew in 98, 96,
Yeah.
97, before you went to prison. This
Mm,
Cornflake was vicious, man. I mean, this guy was so you can relate to these this youth
yeah.
stories and you can tell them, listen, brother, I've been through this. I can
Yeah.
get you out of it without even have to go through 20 years of your life, 17 years
True.
missing your life. I can
True.
save you 17 years. Just listen to me.
True. You're right. And
You know,
here's a good example. Yo, it was this guy's name is Ali Miles, man. He was a hitman from Philly, and he wound up catching a body in Newport. I mean, in somewhere out here, Virginia. This
okay.
man got natural life.
Damn.
Now, I don't know how I can make you feel it, but I can give it to you how he gave it to me when I was sitting in the pod when I was like, damn, man, I got like 16 more years to go. He was like,
Right.
that's it. He brought down his update sheet. He sat it down. He said, look at my release date. It had 4 zeros on it. He said,
God.
now close your eyes and put yourself in my shoes. So when I close my eyes, he started talking. He said, you see what's going on? Listen to what's going on. Remember what you see every day. Now view that as your life every day. You'll never see the outside of these fences no more. You got wake up call. You in a cold cell. You got them itchy military blankets, man. You got to sit down on cold steel sheets, yo. And then, yo, it scared me. I couldn't do it. I
No
wouldn't
way
be
in
able
the
to do it,
world.
yo.
No way in the
Yeah,
world.
For life, you hear what I'm saying? When it
yeah,
look,
that's
I
crazy.
would go to the hole, and these people would take me out. They would put you in handcuffs. You'll put your hand through the chuck hole, and they hook up a dog leash to your hands,
That's
and
crazy.
they walk you
Mm.
like a dog.
Damn.
Like a dog. And I remember one time I got in a fight and I was sitting in a hole. They brought me my property. My story, this story about to relate a little bit to him. And I was counting on my calendar and I started counting my fingers up and I'm laying there and I started crying because I said, I got 9 years left to do.
Damn.
9 years left to do. I started crying.
That's crazy.
You feel me? Can you
Yeah,
imagine
bro.
all this taken away?
Yeah.
And that's what I want the youth to hear.
Right.
All this taken away. Why? Because, yo, you can control your emotions.
Mm.
You feel me? There's major gyms everywhere in all your cities, man. If you want to fight somebody, call them out, meet them in a location. Because, yo,
Mhm.
soon as you kill that man, there's no going back.
There it is.
No going back. No going
Right.
back. My number is 1174746. I can't shake it. I've been home since 2017. They didn't know me. They never called me Kenyon. They never called me Cornflake. They always asked, "What's your number?"
Damn.
And that's what all I
Yeah.
was a number in prison.
What's your name? Yeah.
So yo, think before you go out the window. You
Yeah,
feel what I'm
man.
saying? Don't allow your friends to be the ones to end you, have you in prison. Because guess what? When you go, they ain't gonna be there.
Nope.
I was one of the most populous dudes around here. When I went to prison, I only had Ma Dukes in my corner. And when it
Mm.
was time for me to come home, then everybody started jumping back in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nah, I'm gonna
Work
treat you
like that
exactly
every
how you
time.
live.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
But
educate yourself, man. Educate yourself, man. That's the best thing I can tell you. Educate yourself. Push yourself. Don't set no limit. You set a limit, you didn't put a roadblock in front of you, bruh. For
yep.
real. I'm just a guy that fights in prison boots, and I go from state to state taking dudes' belts. I went to Philadelphia, took a guy belt. He could have mailed that to me.
Right.
My man.
You could have first
I
round.
saw it. I saw that one live too, man. I watched
Yeah.
that one. Yes,
I
indeed.
showed it live. You could have mailed
Yeah, I
that.
watched that one. That was a good one, man. You punished them
Five
too.
hours, 5 hours of driving. You
You
could have
punished
mailed
them.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yep.
But that's what I'm saying. If you got it, you feel it, little soldiers, little warriors in the world, man. Go get it. Even if you ain't even
Mm.
got to be young. I'm 44 to those who are listening who's old. And I'm still in here rumbling with these young bucks. Still rumbling. And if I can't beat them physically, I'm giving them a tongue lashing.
Mm.
Wisdom. I'm feeding them.
That's right.
You got to be something for them.
That's right.
Because if nothing, you just gonna be that guy in that corner. They like, oh, look, old school dumbass. You know what I'm saying? Feed them.
Like, brother, it was an honor having you on here, man. Sees, you got
Hey.
anything else for him, brother?
Nah, just anything you want to shout out, man. Give you the solo. You can shout it out. Any
Yeah, go ahead. It's on
the
you, brother. The
IG and everything
spotlight's
you
on
want to
you.
promote.
Yeah. Yo, all y'all, man, look me up, man. Come out and support, man. Pound for pound. This is the logo you'll see on Facebook, Facebook, also on YouTube, also on Instagram, man. Yo, if anybody, you got a beef, you got a problem, man, and you feel like, man, well, I'm telling you, it's not worth going to prison for. You got a beef, you got a problem with somebody, man, you can hit me up at any time on Cornflake. I'm all over that stuff, man. If you can't find me, somebody will point you in the right direction. Man, live life. Don't live your life in somebody else's lane. Stay in your own lane, because guess what? Sometimes, man, you might be the cause of you failing because why? You trying to live up to everybody else's expectation. Live your life. If I was a thinking man back in the day, I'd be famous right now. But I wasn't a thinking man. I was living my life in other people's eyes and what other people wanted me to do. Live life, enjoy life, man. Support us. Pound for pound on YouTube, Facebook. Bad news. Dogs on the yard. Rah.
Ladies and gentlemen, man,
Hey,
we had a special guest, man. One of my brothers to go back to 96. Kenyon Cornflake Johnson.
Yeah.
Heavyweight
Yeah.
champion at that, too.
hey. Not super heavyweight, but the heavyweight.
Nah. Riddick Bowe, I'm not super heavyweight. Riddick Bowe, I'm not the super heavyweight. There's a guy named Beast. There's a guy named War Jones. There's other
Yes.
dudes that are super heavyweight.
It's like, God,
I don't want no smoke, bro. I
That's
don't want
right.
no
That's
smoke.
right. For those that's on here, man, to all my brothers, man, Newport News is my other home as well. Hampton, Norfolk, Portsmouth, the whole 7 cities, man. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'm Denby. I'm a Denby High School graduate.
Yeah.
I got my
Yeah.
diploma from Denby High School. So hit that like and subscribe button, man. We can sure use it. Brother, you're welcome on here anytime. If anything that you want to talk about, man, we
Yes, sir.
here. You want
Share
to talk about?
also.
Okay.
You can share any of your stuff on any of my pages. You know, I let it. It is. That's what it is. This
Yes,
stuff is
indeed.
legendary. My young fighters need to see this. They need to see y'all communicating and talking with them legendary fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Also, man, I want to say, Beethoven, man. That's his name.
B. Scotland, the one to pass.
Yeah, Man, yo, I was in prison, man, and I was at the was it regional Golden Glove region when Virginia used to come fight
In
Potomac Valley.
Hillcrest at my gym. Yep. That was my
Yeah,
gym. Yep.
and I seen him drop Russell and beat Russell in that regional joint, man. I fell in love with this guy, and man, when I seen
He
him,
did fight Russell. Yep.
he beat Russell.
Yeah. I remember that too.
Rest in peace, Russell, bro. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? I can't
indeed.
take
Yes,
that from Russell.
indeed.
Both of these dudes are warriors, but yo, when I watched him on TV on USA when he was fighting that guy, man, and it hurt me, man. I
Yeah.
actually got his article still in the back. I clipped it out, man. And
Yeah.
and if there's that boy, y'all know his name, David Easton. You knocked me out at that
David
Hillcrest
Easton.
gym back in the day.
I know David Easton too. Yep.
You knocked my jaw out a lot, boy. It's a different story these days. I ain't 16 no more. You put a whipping on me. You put a whipping on me out there. I ain't 16 no more, boy. I'm big too now. Holla at me.
I'm gonna look for him if I find him more here for you.
Yeah, I gotta get my get back. Yo, this man knocked me out, knocked my jaw out of place, bust my nose. I felt like I had to give him a hug after it was all over. I'm in the middle of ring hugging this man, like please let it be over with.
Hey, they don't know. The fight we never forget the fight. If we can get that rematch, we get it.
Yeah, you let him know. I still get it in.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
It was an honor to have you on here, man. You're
Yes,
welcome here anytime, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, brother. For those
Appreciate
that's
y'all.
new here, please hit that like and subscribe button. It's just a click, it's a quick click on the mouse or click on your touch screen, and hit the notification bell as well. And like this page, like now if you can, hit the like button on here as well, so we can get the algorithm in line with us. I appreciate you all, ladies and gentlemen. The second win, Boxing Media. Peace.